Okay, good afternoon, grade fours. I hope you guys well. I'm good. I'm glad it's a Friday, so tomorrow we're going to sleep in. I'm sure you're also glad it's a Friday, so that tomorrow you can get to rest. My name is Mimaluleke, and then I'm taking you guys through format. So today, grade fours, we are starting on a new topic. I told you yesterday we finished 3D shapes. So today we are starting on a new topic, which is multiplication. So we're starting on multiplication, and yeah, before we can actually start, um, okay, let's do the success criteria, and then we can start with mental maths. So our success criteria, so we're going to do factors and multiples. We're going to do factors and multiples. Um, okay. By the end of the lesson, you're going to know what a factor is and you're going to know what a multiple is. You're also going to be able to find multiples on factors of whole numbers up to 100. So I know you guys, maybe I'm speaking Greek now, but by the end of the lesson, I assure you, I'm going to be speaking English, not Greek. So it might sound like, what factors, multiples? You see, you know these things already. Maybe it's just the terminology that is confusing you. So that is what you're going to achieve by the end of today. And then I have mental maths that I want you guys to do. I was actually thinking, how best can we do this? How best can we do this? So maybe instead of choosing one person to answer and then it doesn't give the others an opportunity to answer, then we're going to go through together. No, we're not going to raise our hands. So we're going to go through this together. And then on the chart, for example, remember it's mental maths, guys, no cheating. Ne? Okay, no cheating. So we'll start with 9 times 7 and then oh, okay, all right. It's fine. I'm not going to choose anyone. It's okay. So we're going to answer on the chart, and then so we do it very fast because it's mentally. So please, no cheating. I trust that you guys do not cheat. So what is 9 times 7? Let's quickly do this. 9 times 7, and then you answer on the chart. You answer on the chart. Okay. At least the good thing is people cannot see each other's answers. Okay. So Dane, Sean, Joda. So you guys are 21. Okay, so I expect to see more answers because now I've seen 3 answers. So at least if I can see half, okay, they are coming in. Zinzi, Kayla, Tarin. Okay, Zoe. Oh, were you calculating? Okay, no, it's fine. So 9 times 7, you guys said Tandi Nzimande, you said the answer is 63, which is correct. And then moving on to the next one, 9 times 5. What is 9 times 5? Okay, starting from Kayla and then Tarin, Dane, Unati, no wonder. Okay, you said 9 times 5 is 45. Okay, let's move on to the next one. What is 8 times 5? What is 8 times 5? Starting from Tarin, Tandy, Kayla, no wonder, Dane, Lirado, and Jake, you said 8 times 5 is 40. And Zinzi also, I saw your answer. Well done. And what is 7 times 9? Okay, Zoe, I see your answers there. Starting from Dane, what is 7 times 9? Okay, Dane, Tarin, Jake, Tandy, okay, you said 7 times 9 is 63. So did you see that? Or can you see that 7 times 9 and 9 times 7 is the same thing? So it gives us the same answer. We're going to look at those properties. Okay, Joda, I see your answer there. And Zoe, yes. Let's move on to the next one. 8 times 8. 8 times 8, starting from Jane, Zoe, Zinzi, Jack, Lirado, Tarin, Alexis. Okay, you said your answer is 64, and that is correct. And then what is 9 times 6? 9 times 6, starting from Zoe. Okay, yes, Joda, I see that answer. Zinzi, now we are on 9 times 6. And then Tarin, Tandy, Jack, Butilo, Kayla, you say the answer is 54. And Jordan, you said your answer is 54, which is correct. And what is 9 times 3? 9 times 3, starting from Alexis, Lirado, Zinzi, Carol, Taryn, Jack, Tandy. Okay, you said the answer is 27, which is correct. And the last one, guys, what is 8 times 7? What is 8 times 7? Okay, starting from Lirado, Carol, Kayla, Zinzi, Alexis. It's fine, Jonathan. We're just doing mental maths. You'll join. And then Jack, Taryn, and Tandy. Okay, you said the answer is 56. So that's correct. So if you guys were actually not looking somewhere or on any times table, if you were honest, you can be proud of yourselves because it seems like you know your multiples. It seems like you know your times table. Okay, well done for that. And thank you for those that answered. So that is the mental maths, just to get you know, an adrenaline rush. Okay. And then now coming to today's lesson. So you see, Jonathan, you only miss mental maths and you didn't miss much. So let's look, what are factors? I said today we are doing factors and multiples, and we're looking at what are factors. So at one definition, so there's many definitions that you might know. I came up with 2 definitions. So the first one, we say that a factor is a number that when multiplied with another, it produces a given number. So a factor is a number that when multiplied with another, it produces a given number. For example, to find the factors of 12, if we want to find the factors of 12, we have to find 2 numbers that when we multiply them together, they give us 12. We have to find 2 numbers that when we multiply them together, they give us 12. And then we always start from 1. So we say 1 multiplied by that number that we are looking for. So for example, we want to find the factors of 12. So we say 1 times 12, it gives us 1 times 12, it gives us 12, right? So that those are the first 2 numbers. So always 1 and that number, they are the first 2 factors of any number. If we are finding factors of 4, we'll say 1 times 4. So that is the first factor pair, right? Always. If we're finding factors of 20, so the first factor pair will be 1 and 20 because 1 times 20 gives us 20. So don't forget, always when you find factors, the first factor pair, a pair means 2, right? So the first 2 numbers that when you multiply them together and they give you a certain number that you're looking for, it's 1 and that number. So it's 1 and that number. So now we have found, okay, Jack, you can delete your, you can remove your video, not delete your video. And pay attention. And also pay attention because I see you are playing there. So it's 1 and 12. And then the next pair, you have to check. So you go with the numbers. The next one is 2 and 6. So if I say 2 times 6, I get 12, right? 2 times 6, I get 12. So this means that 2 and 6, okay, it's fine, Jack. 2 and 6, if we say 2 times 6, we get 12. And then is that it? Are those all the numbers? No. And the last one is 3 times 4. So 3 times 4 gives us 12. If we want to check 5, we can check 5. Which number can we multiply with 5 to get 12? Is there any number that you can multiply with 5 to get 12? You say 5 times what? If we say 5 times 2, it gives us 10. And then if we say 5 times 3, it gives us 15. So then 5 is not a factor because there is no number that we can pair with 5 to get 12, right? So if we look there at the bottom, if we look here at the bottom, we have the factor pairs of 12. So the first one I said is 1 times 12. So it's 1 and that number. This is the first factor pairs that you'll get. And then we move on from 1, the next number is 2. And then we find, we ask ourselves, which number can we multiply with 2 to get 12? You see why it's important when I said you guys should know your multiples? Because if you don't know your multiples, it's going to be difficult for you to do this topic. So if you haven't learned your multiples now in grade 4, this topic is going to be a nightmare for you because we are basing on the knowledge, on your knowledge of multiples. So which number are you going to multiply with 2 to get 12? So if we say 2 times 6, we get 12, or you can also count in twos until you reach 12. So if you count in twos, it will be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and that's 6 times. So this means that we have to multiply 2 times 6 to get 12. And then you move on to 3. Which number do we multiply with 3 to get 12? Or you can count in that number and see if you can reach the number that you are looking for. So then we'll say 3, 6, 9, 12, and then we have counted 4 times, so this means that 3 times 4 is, it gives us 12. I've shown you why 5 cannot be. And then from 6 is half of 12. 6 is half of 12. So after the half of that number that you are looking for, we cannot go forward. Why can't you go forward? Because if we say 7, okay, if we say 7, and then which number can we multiply? Remember, it's multiplying, not adding, right? Which number can we multiply with 7 to get 12? Is there any number? So we start 7 times 1 gives us 7, so it's not times 1. And then 7 times 2 gives us 14. So we have passed 12. So there is no other, we cannot go then and check 8 and check 9, because once we double those numbers, we are going to get more than 12. So that is how we get the factor base. You guys should actually listen, because as I'm seeing your videos coming up, it either shows me that you guys are playing with your phones and you are not listening, actually playing with your videos and you are not listening. And this is very important. So then we'll say that the factors of 12 are, after you have found the factor pairs, because the first thing is for you to find the factor pairs. After you find the factor pairs, you then list, or you then write the factors from smallest to biggest. And what you're going to see is the first smallest one is going to be 1, and the biggest factor is going to be that number. So if we take these factor pairs and then we list them from smallest to biggest, then we're going to start with 1, followed by 2, followed by 3, followed by 4, and then 6, and then the last one is 12. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So these are factors. These are called factors of 12, right? And then still talking about factors, I said there are many definitions, or we can say that a factor is a number that divides exactly into another number and leaves no remainder. I think now in grade 4, you know what a remainder is. We find the different factors of a number by working out which numbers divide into it evenly, which numbers divide into that number and leaves no remainder. If it leaves a remainder, it is not a factor of that number, grade 4s. If it leaves a remainder, it is not a factor of that number. So using division, I have a picture here. What are all the factors of 12? So then the same thing that I did on the previous slide. Then you say 12 divided by 1 is 12, right? And there is no remainder. And then 12 divided by 2, so division, if it's 12 divided by 2, it simply means that you count in twos until you reach that number. And then as we have seen, so these ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12, they divide exactly into 12 and they do not leave a remainder. So if you find yourself saying that 7 is a factor of 12, and then if I say 12 divided by 7, I get 1, remainder 5. So it cannot be a factor. If it leaves a remainder, then it is not a factor of that number. Okay, I saw there was, okay, the hand is gone. Someone had raised their hand. I don't know whether it's because they're playing with the tablets or they actually wanted to ask something. So that is how we get the factors, but we are not done with the factors. I'll still explain more. Okay, all right. So let's move on. And then grade 4s, oh, I forgot to say, if you have a pressing question, you can leave it on the chat. just maybe if you think you're going to forget it, you can leave it on the chart. So how do we find out? We're going to explain on how you find all the pairs, all the factor pairs. So we are finding factor pairs, right? And then we want to find, sorry, okay, just want to, man, go back. All right, so want to find the factor pairs of 36. Want to find the factor pairs of 36. So if we find the factor pairs, then we will find the factors definitely. So we start with 1 and the number itself. So it's 1 and 36. Remember when I showed you on that one, it was 1 and 12. So now we are finding factors of 36, guys. So we start with 1 and the factors will end with 36. They will end with 36. So we have to work through each number to see if it's one of a pair. In this case, we start with 1. So 1 times 36 gives us 36. So we know that 1 and 36, they are definitely factor pairs of 36. And then we come to the next one, which is 2. And then we say, which number can we or do we multiply with 2 to get 36, right? And then if you know your multiples, you'll know that if we say 2 times 18, we get 36. So that is the second factor pair. And then we move on to 3, and then you ask yourself, which number do we multiply with 3 to get to 36? Or if you don't know, then you count in threes until you reach 36. So we can do it together. We can count in threes wherever you are. And then after counting, you can then write your answer on the chat. So let's count together wherever you are. We are now counting in threes. Remember, now I'm assuming you don't know which number do we multiply with 3 to get 36. So the other way of doing it, we count in threes until we reach 36. So let's go together. So it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So I have 5 in my hands, right? 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Now I have 10, but then I'm looking for 36. Then it's 30, and then it's 33, and then 36. So we counted how many times? We counted 12 times. So which means that we have to multiply 3 times 12 to get 36. And then we move on to 4. Which number do we multiply with 4 to get 36? So we'll multiply, okay, grade 4s. Today, your videos, guys, your videos are coming up so much. They're coming up so much. So please do not switch on your video. One of the rules is you're not supposed to switch on your video. And then I see people are switching on their videos. Okay, Lirato, if you cannot hear me, then you have to, I think it's your device. You need to up your volume. It's either your volume or something, because people are answering. If people are answering, it means that they are hearing me. So Lirato, check your volume. Okay, and then we see here, okay, Joda have given us this 3 times 12, and then the 4, the number that you multiply with 4 to get 36 is 9. And then 5 is not a factor because if we say there's no number that you can multiply with 5 to get 36. And then 6, if we say 6 times 6, we get 36. So these are the factor pairs of 36. Then after we are done with the factor pairs, we can list the factors. So the factors of 36 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 36. So you see how much or how many factor pairs or factors 36 has. So this doesn't mean that as a number grows bigger, it has more factor pairs. It doesn't mean that. So not all numbers, okay, they don't have the same amount of factors. So you find out, like for example, we find out that 12 has 5 factors, and then now we are finding out that 36 has how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you find a number like 37 just after 36. Just after 36, a number like 37 only has 2 factors. Because if you come to think of it, on a times table, which numbers Or did you see when you count in whatever numbers, have you ever counted and you actually counted 37? You'll be multiplying which number and which number. So 37 has only two factors, which is 1 and 37. So depending on what kind of a number it is or what type of a number it is, then the number of factors are going to be different. But what you have to do, you have to make sure that you find all the factors. You find all the factors of all the numbers. Okay, Ramu, your hand is up. I'm going to unmute you.
I want to tell you all the answers.
Oh no, there's an activity coming. It's fine. There's an activity coming, ne? And you tell us the answers. All right. And then Jake, your hand was up. I'm unmuting you.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Jake. How are you?
Fine.
Yes. Your hand was up. Did you want to ask?
Where does 6 go? 6.
Where does the second 6 go?
The 6.
Okay. What about the 6, Jake?
Yes. Because 1 is with 36, 2 is with 18, 3 is with 12, and 4 is with 9. Where does the 6 go?
6 goes with 6. So it's 6.
Okay.
Can you see? 6 goes with 6 because 6 times 6 gives us 36, ne?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for asking that one. You see, okay. So Jake was confused on where does the 6 or which number, it should which number does the 6 go with? So 6 goes with 36. Okay. Ewald, can you kindly mute Jake for me? Okay, Jake is muted. Okay, thank you. All right. So Ramu wanted to answer. There's always an activity, right? Okay, so we're going to do this activity together. So looking for factor pairs, as Jacob asked, where does the 6 go or which number does it go with? If you find the factor pairs, we're going to get the factors. So you can use either one of the methods to get the factors of numbers. So you use the method that you understand, as long as whatever factor that you said it is a factor, when you divide it, it must not leave a remainder. Remember that when you write factors, all the numbers have 1 as a factor in that particular number. So always start with 1 in that particular number and then work through all the other numbers. And then find all the factors of the following numbers. Find all the factors of the following numbers. So the first one that you're going to find is 15. You're going to find the factors of 15. And how do you do that? You do the factor pairs. Okay, I'm going to unmute Ramu. Let's see if Ramu still wants to answer. Ramu, you are unmuted. Okay. Okay, we lost Ramu there. And then I'm going to unmute Tarin. Tarin, you are unmuted.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon, Tarin, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks, and you? I might not give all the answers, but I just like trying.
Yes, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Don't stress.
It's 1 times 15 and 3 times 5 and 3 times 5.
You have actually given all the answers. So it's 1 times. Okay, all right. I love that shout of joy. Okay, so he said 1 times 15 and 3 times 5. And that's it. That's all for 15. Thank you so much, Tarin, for answering.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Okay, I love that she wanted to try. She said she might not give all the answers, but then guess what? She actually gave all the answers. So it's 1 times 15 and 3 times 5. And when we list them, remember I said you list them from smallest to biggest. So it's 1, 3, 5, and 15. Thank you, Tarin, for being the first one to answer that one. And then number B is 20. Find all the factors of 20. Okay, I'm going to unmute Zoe. Zoe, you are unmuted.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Zoe, how are you?
Fine, thanks. And how are you?
I'm also fine. Oh, Joda. Okay, Joda, I've seen. Okay, sorry, I just went through the chat. Okay, Joda had listed them also. Okay. Oh, Zota said, sorry, Joda said, okay, she can't because of the dishwasher. She can't answer verbally. Okay, yes.
Ma'am, it's 10 times 2.
Where should we start? Where should we start, Zoe?
You should start with 1 times. You should start with 1 times 20.
Yes, always, always, so that you don't get confused. No, Michael, we start with
Yes,
1 times, yes, 1 times 20, and then,
10 times 2
or 2 times 10, yes, you are right.
and 20, and 4 times 5.
And 4 times 5, yes. Is there any other one that you are missing?
And
that's it.
5 times 4.
Yes, 5 times 4 and 4 times 5, they're the same. Okay, and that's it, Zoe. Thank you so much for answering. You gave us all the vector pairs. Okay, so when we list them, sorry, Zoe, when we list them, okay, so Zoe gave us 1 times 20, 2 times 10, or 10 times 2. So this is the same thing. So if you say 2 times 10 and 10 times 2, you'll see if you draw the arrows of combining your vector pairs, you'll see that you have already mentioned 1, and then 4 times 5, and then when we list them from smallest to biggest, it's 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. You see, and then that's it. We have now gotten the vector pairs, and then we've gotten the factors of 20. So that is how we get them. There is no other. There's no other simpler way that I can think for you. Okay, and then Zinzi also answered us here and said 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 10 times 2, and 4 times 5. Okay, Zinzi, as you have heard me explaining that 2 times 10 and 10 times 2 is the same thing. So it's fine even if you write them, but when you list them now, just make sure you don't repeat. Even if you repeat, you still get it right, by the way. But yeah, don't repeat. And then Jode also gave us 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 4 times 5, and 5 times 4. I'm sure, Jode, you've also seen that 4 times 5 and 5 times 4 is the same thing. And then you listed them and you said it's 1, 2, 4, 5, and 10. Okay, and you got it right. And then you also have Mamiki, who answered on the chart and said 1 times 20, which is correct, and then 4 times 5, which is correct. I think Mamiki was still answering there because okay, she did not finish answering, but you were on the right track. Thank you so much, Mamiki, for answering. And then the last one that you guys are going to write for me on the chart. This one I didn't write the answers because I want you guys to actually do it. Okay, so do the factor pairs of 100. Let's do 100 is so many factors. 100 is a lot of factors, so don't miss. Or maybe, okay, so it's the factors of 100. I see there is a hand. I'm not sure, should I, let me maybe unmute someone. Let me unmute Dane. I'm going to unmute you and then you can try. Good afternoon, Dane.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm thanks, and you?
I'm also good. Do you want to give us the factor pairs of 100?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Yes, you can go ahead then.
1 times 100.
Yes, well done. Those are the first ones.
2 times 50.
Well done.
Mm, mm,
Are you counting? Okay, okay, as Dane is giving us, I'm not going to mute you, Dane. I'm just going through the chat just so that we can save time. As you get them, you tell us. Ne? I'm just going through the chat and seeing what people are saying about those ones.
0. Ma'am, 10 times 10.
10 times 10, yes.
100 times 0.
100 times 0 is 0.
Oh, sorry, ma'am. 100 times. Oh, I already did it.
10 times 10, you right? Why do my messages disappear? Okay, let's see. Okay, so Mamiki, okay, as Dan is there, Mamiki gave us 10 times 10. And then, okay, let's see. Okay, I don't want to skip anyone. Why do they disappear? Okay. Okay, we are here. So Mamiki gave us, ooh, where's Mamiki's?
Ma'am, 20 times 5.
20 times 5, yes, you are right. You are right. Okay, so we have Zinzi. No, this one is for the 20. 1 times 100. Okay, Lirato gave us 20 times 5. And then we have Joda, you missed 2. Joda, I've seen all your factors, your factor pairs, you missed 2. And then Taryn said 1 times 100, 2 times 50, 10 times 10. You missed 4. Taryn.
4.
And okay, no wonder is actually giving us the 4 times 25. The 4 times 25. Date.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me just capture what Dane said. You said 1 times 100, which is correct. You said 2 times 50, which is correct. And then you said 4 times 25. Sorry, 4 times 25. And then 5 times 20. And then we have 10 times 10. So if we list them, then we're going to have 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50, and 100. You see how many you can exhaust. So those, okay, Mamiki said, okay, I see her message now. 10 times 10, 50 times 2, 20 times 5, 2 times 50. You just forgot 25 times 4, Mamiki. Well done. You forgot 25 times 4. And Kayla, I see your 5 times 20. Thank you, guys. I like that you are in the lesson and you are interactive. Okay, thank you so much, Dan, for answering. You actually did good. Yes. All right. So that is how we find the factor pairs, guys. Once you master what we have just done, you are going to be home and away. So that is how we find. That's why I'm saying you have to know your multiples. You have to know your multiples. Now, on the activity, okay, sorry. Right. So we're going to have this learner activity. I'm going to be unmuting Peep. Do I have time? No. Okay, so we can answer on the chats and then I'll be reading your answers because you still have to do multiples. Which one is not a factor of 6? Which number is not a factor of 6? And then on the numbers that we have 1, 2, 4. Which number is not a factor of 6 there? Which one is not a factor of 6? 1, 2, 4. So which one is not a factor of 6? Okay, so okay, Mamiki, Zinzi, Lirado, and Tarin, you said 4 is not a factor of 6. Okay, so Jack said 1. So remember, I said 1 is a factor of every number. Every number have 1 as a factor. So if you said 4, well done, you got it right. And then let's look at the next question. So there is the answer. 4 is not a factor of 6. And then number B, which number is a factor? Which number is a factor of 10? Which number is a factor of 10? 5, 20, 30. Which one is a factor of 10? 5, 20, 30. Okay, starting from Zoe, no wonder, Jordan, Dylan. Okay, this one you got it right, all of you. Okay, except for Dylan. Okay, so the answer is 5. 5 is not a factor of 10. Remember, we said factors, they start from 1 and they end with that number. They end with that number. So if it's a number bigger, if you say a number that is bigger than that number, it is not a factor. A factor starts from 1 and ends. In this case, the factor will end with 10, guys. It will end with 10. So if you said 5, you are right, because 5 is the answer. And then the next question is, which factors of 12 are missing below? Which factors of 12 are missing below? So I gave you 1, 2, 6, and 12. So which factors of 12 are missing below there? Which factors are we missing there? Okay. Okay, Kayla, Zinzi, Jordan, no wonder you said 3 and 4. You see, you guys are getting it. 3 and 4. Yes, Jake, you are right. 3 and 4. So those are the factors that are missing. Those are the factors that are missing from the sequence that I've given you. So the answer is 3 and 4. You are right. And then number D, all these are factors. Okay, all these are factors of 15 besides which one? All these are factors of 15 besides which one? 1, 2, 3, 5, and 15. Which one is not a factor of 15? Ramu, your video is up. Please remove it. All these are factors of 15 besides which one? Besides 2 years. You are right. No, 1 is a factor of every number, guys. So it cannot be 1. 2 is right. 2 is right. 1 is a factor of every number. So if you say 2, you are right. Well done. If you say 2, you understand the factors. Ne? You understand the factors. So the answer is 2. And then the last one, true or false? The factors of a number never end. The factors of a number never end. Do the factors of a number end, or they do not end? True or false? Okay, yes, the answer is false, because they end. The factors of a number, we can count them, they end. You're going to see now when we do multiples. Are we going to have time to do multiples though? Okay, yes, the answer is false. So yes, false, that is the answer. So that is about factors, guys. So factors, they start with 1 and end with that number. And then how do we get factors? We find factor pairs. How do we find factor pairs? We have to look for 2 numbers that when we multiply them together, they give us that number. When we multiply them together, they give us that number. And then, okay. So, okay, we have done mental maths. Okay, that's good. Let me skip this one. Okay, and then we look at multiples. So when we talk about multiples, okay, this one is the easiest. When we talk about multiple, a multiple is the answer that you get when you multiply 2 numbers. And then multiples, they appear in the numbers multiplication table. So they appear in the numbers multiplication table. You can calculate them by counting on that number, by that number. So multiples, if we're looking for multiples of 2, it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, right? Can we finish the multiples? No. If I say now, Taryn, count all the multiples of 2, you're going to grow old still counting in 2s. So example, multiples of 6 are 6, 12, and 6, 12, 18, and they do not end. So we say that multiples are infinite. We say that they are infinite, meaning that they do not end. So the difference between multiples and factors is that factors start with one and end with that number. So factors, they start with 1 and end with that number, but multiples, they start from that number. So you cannot have a multiple that is lower than the number. So if I say, what are the multiples of 12? You cannot say it's 6, because multiples start from 12 going forward, and multiples will never end. You can count in 12s until you become a granny. You cannot finish the numbers. And then factors, they end. With factors, they end. And then still on the chart, which of the numbers are not multiples of 10? which of the numbers are not multiples of 10? So I said multiples, if it's multiples of 10, they'll start from 10. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I can sleep and wake up again, still counting on them. So on these numbers, which one is not a multiple of 10? Which one is not a multiple of 10? Okay, I'll just check the first answer that is correct. Which one is not a, yes, so Zoe and the others, you said 5 is not a multiple of 10. 5 is not a multiple of 10, and you are right, because we said multiples, they start from the number, so they start from 10 going forward. So if you see multiples of 10, it means you are counting in tens. Simple as that. If I say what are multiples of 10, you count in tens. So 5, if I say 5, there's no way that I can do multiples of 10 and have 5, right? Because 5 is less than 10. And then multiples of 2, which one is not a multiple of 2? 3, 6, 8, which one is not a multiple of 2? If I give you 3, 6, and 8, which one is not a multiple of 2? Okay, yes, you are right. You said 3 is not a multiple of 2, which is correct. Because if I'm counting in twos, I have to say 2, 4, 6, and I never said anything about 3. So you are right there. And then multiples of 6, which one is not a multiple of 6? Which one is not a multiple of 6? 3, 6, and 12, which one is not a multiple of 6? Okay, the answers were there already. Let me check. Okay, yes, you guys said 3. No, Lerato, is 3 is not 9. 3 is not a multiple of 6. Yes, you are right. All of you are right, and like lots of you are right. So you say 3 is not a multiple of 6. So 3 cannot be a multiple of 6 because 3 is less than 6. And when we count in sixes, we do not say 3, guys. So we don't say the number that is less than that number. So 3 is not a multiple of 6. That's correct. And then, okay, let's look at this activity on multiples again. Okay, so here, this one is a little bit tricky. Make up a 2-digit number. Remember, our 2-digit numbers, they end with 99. So make up a 2-digit number that is a multiple of 2 and 3. So that number should be a multiple of 2 and 3. Meaning that if you count in twos, you say that number. If you count in threes, you say that number. If you count in twos, you say that number. If you count in threes, you say that number. Okay, all right, 12 is right, 18 is right, so 60 is right. Okay, 46 is not right, but 18 is right. 33 and 22, no, 22 is not right, so 18 is right. 16, no, 16 is not right. Okay, 60 is right. Okay, let me show you how we do this one. So we want a number that is a multiple of 2 and 3, right? So if I count in twos, I'll say 2, 4, 6. So it means, and then if I count in threes, I'll say 3, 6. So the first number is 6. Once you have found the first number, then it means if I count in sixes, I'm going, the answer can be either 6 or 12 or 18. So you can count in sixes. So you say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, or whatever. Or if you have a multiple, a times table, a physical one, you can check which numbers meet between 2 and 3 when you do the multiples. So it's the first one is 6, because if it's 2, 4, 6, and then 3, 6, you see, so 6 is the first one, and then 12, and then 18, and then 24, 36. That's why I was saying that 60 is fine up until 96, up until 96, because it's a, yes, 12 is also right, 24 is also right. You see, you are getting it. So you count in sixes and then you get the answer. So I said this one is a little bit tricky. What about 2 and 4? What about 2 and 4? What about 2 and 4? Let's see. So if you count in twos, you say that number. If you count in fours, you say that number. If you count in twos, you say the number. And if you count in fours, you say that same number. Okay, 8. Yes, 8 is right. 16. You see, the first one is 4. Yes, no wonder. Followed by 8. 36 is also right. So there is no one right answer here. 12. Also, yes, you are right. So because we're starting with 4, so it's okay. Then Jack said, made it is simple. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, and going forward. 80 also is right. Yes, you are getting it. 32 is also right. So we count in 4s to get that one. And then number 2 says list the next 3 multiples of 4 from 12. The next 3 multiples of 4 from 12. From 12, what will be the next 3 multiples? Okay, Jack said 16, 20, not 30, Jack. Okay, 16, 20 is right. The next 3, guys. The question is list the next 3. So these are the kind of questions that you get, yes, in the 16, 20, 24. So these are the questions that you get when it comes to multiples. It's okay, Jack. Please don't feel bad. You were trying, which is good. You got the first 2 right anyway. Okay, so Tarin said 16, 20, 24, which is right. So those are the next 3 multiples. 16, 20, 24, Mamiki, you are right. So you'll never get a question that says list all the multiples, no. But you get a question that says list all the factors. And then the last question is, what is the lowest common multiple of 5 and 10? So where do the multiples of 5 and 10 first meet? Where do the multiples of 5 and 10 first meet? Where do they meet? So if I count in 5s and I count in 10s, then you'll say, I said this one first. This is where they first met. Okay, let's see who got this one right. Noted 20, go back. Okay, Tarin, you can noted 20, go back again. There is where they first meet. Not 15, no wonder, because 15 is not a multiple of 10. Yes, Joda, you are right. So the answer is 10. Okay, I was just, yes. Tarin, you see, the answer is 10. Well done. Yes, no wonder. It's 10. You are right. Because if we count in 5s, I'll say 5, 10, right? And if I count in 10s, I'll say 10. I'll start by saying 10. So that is why the answer is 10. And that's the lowest one. Well done, Alexis, and well done, Dylan. Well done, Joda and Tarin, for getting those ones. So the answer is 10. And then in summary, the difference between factors and multiples. So these things are different, as I've shown you before. So we can count the number of factors, but we cannot count the multiples. And then our factors, they start from 1 to that number. So factors start from 1 and they end with that number, while the multiples, they start from that number going up. So as I said, you get a question that says, write all the factors of a certain number, but you can never get a question that says, write all the multiples of a number. So that is the difference. So never confuse them. Grade 4, if you get the factors and multiples now in grade 4, when you go to grade 5 and grade 6 and grade 7, up until grade 9, you are not going to struggle with factors and multiples. So this brings us to the end of our lesson. And when was it? On Monday, okay, we're going to look at something different. And then for more information, you can yes, you can check the information there, and you can follow us on Africa Teen Geeks. Until Monday, I'll see you guys. Please stay safe. Okay, I've gone over the time. Bye.